Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Or I could do this thing. I could go presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. I do business with someone, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, prochargeev.com. I'll draw your attention to the ticker there at the bottom of the screen. So if you're ever curious about any of our great partners here, they're scrolling on the bottom throughout the entirety of the show. All right, glad to have you aboard with us here on this Sunday edition. What a busy Saturday. It's one of the things I love about the springtime is, in the fall, we go so deep on football. It's just like all football all the time. In the spring, and I get it's February, we're not quite to spring yet, but in the spring, we are, there's just so much more happening in the spring. So, yesterday morning, the LSU softball team walked it. Friday night, gymnastics. Saturday morning, LSU softball walks it off. Saturday afternoon, LSU baseball blanks Central Arkansas. We'll talk about that. The basketball team snapped its losing streak, got a much-needed win on the road at South Carolina, dramatic fashion. We'll talk about that. And then if you didn't see it last night, and this is what I have on the thumbnail, Trey Holly finally commented reached out on social media and made a post. And I want to remind you, of course, Trey Holly, our state's all-time leading rusher in high school, and just finished up his freshman season at LSU, and a lot of people were really excited about his future. And then we all saw the news where Trey Holly had been arrested, one of three people arrested involved in a shooting, and Holly's been charged with 3 felonies, including attempted second-degree murder. And I was here yesterday, and it said it Friday on AFR, and it's a great lesson in allowing the justice system to work, and the importance of due process, and innocent until proven guilty, although publicly we often assume the opposite. But I reminded you what happened with Clyde in the summer of 2019, when in a tragic situation, Clyde shot and killed a man. And it was in self-defense. Clyde and a friend were held at gunpoint, and Clyde was armed and it did what he had to do. And when you first saw the headline, you probably had certain assumptions. And then you learn the story and you realize that it was self-defense. Well, I think a lot of people made certain assumptions about Trey Holly. And I'm not saying that this is finalized. And again, I was not there. I do not know what happened. And so I'm not speculating. All I'm doing is saying, I'm reminding us all that in certain situations, like, we've got to let systems play out. So Trey Holly posted on social media Saturday night. I'll read it to you if you haven't seen it yet. As you guys know, I was recently arrested on 3 felony charges. I've been falsely identified, accused, and arrested. I am 100% innocent, and all the people that know me know this is not my character at all. I was not involved in the incident at all. I was at home, which is where the incident took place. I turned myself in because I was notified of an arrest warrant, and I wanted to fully cooperate. Due to this being an ongoing investigation, I cannot give many details. To my fans, I'm sorry for all the confusion, but you guys know this is not me at all. I will come back better than ever, and I look forward to proving my innocence. To the real ones, thank you guys for standing beside me through this tough time. I got this, and my story will be told one day, and it will be legendary. That certainly sounds like a guy who believes he did nothing wrong, especially considering the charges he's facing. So, again, it's just a reminder the importance of allowing things to play out. Okay. I also I need to see if I can share a screen. Cancel that. Anyway, okay. Because I would love to put that up on the screen just then. I need to figure out if I can do that. I don't know if I can. Maybe I save that as a banner or something. Maybe I could. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay. Anyway, all right. Let's get to your comments. We'll say some good mornings. Baseball shuts out Central Arkansas 2-0. What a start by Luke Holman. Really, it was interesting. I mean, he struck out 10. He went 5 and a third and struck out 10. I mean, he recorded 16 outs. 10 of them were strikeouts. That was Paul Skeens ish. But the interesting thing is really he sat 91, 92, topped out at 93, 94. But Luke Holman, the uh, the the really interesting thing with Luke Holman is he may not be a great thrower, right? He may not wow you with the radar gun or the spin rate on his breaking ball or anything like that, but he's a really good pitcher. Guy knows how to pitch. I mean, he kept hitters off balance because he was all over the zone. He was up in the zone, he was down in the zone, he was inside, outside. If you were sitting on a breaking ball you thought was low and away, he might come with a fastball elevated. You saw so much swing and miss on 91, 92, which was just crazy to see, but it's because he's got hitters guessing. So really encouraging outing for Holman. And I'll tell you the other one that was impressive was Fidel Ulloa. This is the JUCO transfer from California. Little Raleigh fingers mustache, if you watched it, little uh, handlebar mustache. Um, but he went an inning and a third, struck out 3. He was just a two-pitch mix, but he was fastball 96, off speed 82. And so, man, he came in a spot after Griffin Herring with 2 on and 1 out and went boom, boom, strikeout, strikeout, got out of the inning. It was impressive to see. So you could see how that guy has the potential to be a stopper out of the bullpen. Um, so that was awesome. Awesome to see. Bear Jones homered again. Offense just really struggled yesterday. I'll tell you my other observation from baseball. And this is why you don't marry yourself to anything after one game, right? We all wanted to see Mac Bingham lead off. He did. He went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He did walk though. The guy we got to see that I was excited to see, and I think may find himself in the lineup, is Stephen Milam. He's the little guy they call a monster, and he is just a ball of bleep you energy, if you know what I mean. He played second. He was 1 for 1 at the plate. He walked twice. He had an RBI. Um, that is a dude like, and he's switch hitter. And man, like you want to talk about unafraid, like standing on top of the plate. I mean, I love that guy. And they are going to have a really, really hard time keeping Stephen Milam out of the lineup. And maybe that means Milam's at second and you put Pearson back in right. So what do you do with Jake Brown? I don't know. It's for Jay Johnson to figure out those tough questions. But um, I think, or maybe if Braswell struggles, Milam plays short, and you put Pearson back at second and Brown and right. I don't know. That's for Jay Johnson to figure out. But Milam was really impressive yesterday. Like you could just see, as a freshman, completely unafraid, like that kind of energy you want on your team. That guy was really impressive. And then basketball got down. If you missed it, Tigers got down 16, much like the Florida game, got down 16, rallied, um, uh, tied it on a Tyrell Ward 3-pointer, gave up back-to-back threes on possessions from South Carolina. Um, and then a 3-point play from Jordan Wright, tied it again. And then LSU would take the lead on a pair of free throws from LSU, tied up the ball, got a turnover, tied up the ball, and 14 seconds left. Jordan Wright on the right side drove, was fouled, made both free throws. LSU up 1, and Tigers were able to get one stop on the defensive end. So they go on the road and win 64-63. They beat number 11 South Carolina. They end their 3-game losing streak. So, we talked about that stretch of 5 games: Tennessee, Bama, Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky. Could you get one of them? Well, you just got one of them. And so now it feels like you come home this week against Kentucky playing with house money and see if you can have a great atmosphere and, manage to get another one. But after Kentucky, the road lightens up considerably. Mississippi State, Georgia, at Vandy, at Arkansas, Missouri. So, you know, we said if you can go 1-5 in these, and then or 1-4 in this stretch, and then 4-1 in your final 5, you got a great shot to be an NIT team, and I think that's where they stand right now. So, okay, let's say some good mornings. That's a whole lot that I threw out there at you really quickly. You know the drill. You got anything about anything, fire away. If you're on YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We welcome our LinkedIn and Twitter X audience as well. So thank you all for being here with us on Morning Scone, especially anybody who's here for the first time. All right, here we go. Deborah Cowart, good morning. Dalton Barnett, good morning. Hashtag Team Drew. Thank you, Dalton. Trivia Carter, what's up? D, good morning. Kelly Gross, happy Sunday to the Scone family. The rest of the Scone family is sleeping right now, but I'm sure Drew and E-Rock will wake up here at some point. Irfan Sayad, Guy Morgan, Ryan Pike, look at you, all happy playing with your toys. um, Michael Castello, what up? Jameis's legs. Dennis Allegation, please be Dennis Allen. Dennis Allegation, I don't know. Did I misspell something somewhere? Oh, it must be denies. Did I misspell denies? Gosh dog it. Um, I'll have to go. No, denies. Denies. Denies allegations. Not Dennis. Denies. Come on now. Benton Troxclair, good morning. Whoop, there it is. Sorry. I'll show you all's things. Randall Offrock. Morning, Matt. Do you agree with the SEC coach rankings? Kevin first, Jay second. I don't know who did those rankings. And both have won national championship. O'Sullivan has been to Omaha 6 times, 7 times. So O'Sullivan's had a longer run of success, like Tim Corbin, you could say as well. But if you ask me who would I rather be my coach right now for the next decade, Jay Johnson. That's easy. That's like Nick or Kirby is the conversation you're having. Spurge, good morning. William Moore, Murder Giraffe, good to see you here as well. ML Fody collecting dubs this weekend. Good weekend for the Tigers. Got to get another one in baseball today. Ryan Amanda Guidry, good morning. Gary Petrie, morning, Uncle Scone. Do you remember those days, the old Winn-Dixie Showdown? I do, when baseball started back in the day. I do, the old Winn-Dixie Showdown down back at the Superdome. Terrio tells that story. His, when he played at LSU, they played that Winn-Dixie Showdown in the Dome. He had like 3 errors in a game. Yeah, I remember it. Bubba Smith, good morning. Wendell Norman, Brett Gidry. Morning, Matt. Got to try Whistle Pig 10 single barrel last night. Pretty good. Yeah, if you like rye, that's a great introduction into rye. Whistle Pig 10 year is that's the thing that got me into rye whiskey. So it's a great one. It's a great bottle. Steven Randazzo, happy Sunday, Matt. What a great LSU sports Saturday. Go Tigers. Carl the Cat, good morning. How about basketball? The huge win. Baseball scrapping out a win. Softball walk-off. Great Saturday for the Tigers. Austin Kidder, good morning. Sports guy. Brett DeGrow, good morning, y'all. Jay Borden, Dave Vendur, good to see everybody here. Austin says, Matt, I've mentioned carnivore dieting. After 4 months, I believe it's the holy grail of human health. Significant weight loss while maintaining muscle and strength, many other benefits. Okay. I believe it. I mean, that's kind of what we were intended to be, right? Like, if you go back to the time of the cavemen, I don't think we were meant to eat Cheetos and drink Coca-Cola. No disrespect to Coke, though. But yeah, man. Tom Granda, good morning. Brett Gidry, fourth inning was huge. No outs, man on first and third. Holman with 3 straight strikeouts. Holman was great. Um, Here's the box score. So I thought um, the most impressive uh, part about Holman's day, I thought, was yes, working out of trouble, but it was a windy day. The wind was blowing in, cold. There just wasn't a lot of offense on the day. And to use 5 pitchers for a combined shutout was was really impressive. I mean, 5 hit shutout, and you kept the walks down. There were 5 walks on the day, but 3 of them were Griffin Herring, which was a bummer. But Fidel Ulloa came in and cleaned up Herring's mess after the walks, after the back-to-back walks to start the 7th. Yeah, it would have been in the 7th with LSU up 1-0 because Bear Jones hit the homer in the 8th. That's what it was. So, yeah, man, I mean, a really impressive day. Chris P., good morning. Dave, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Media makes you guilty. Stupid people make assumptions. See, Dave, I don't think the media makes you guilty. Like, you report a story, that's the assumption people make. See, like, don't turn that around in that respect. Like, reporting on a story isn't the media assuming someone's guilty. That's reporting what happened. And Trey Holly being arrested is newsworthy. It's the public making the assumptions that people are guilty. It's social media. It's average Joe American making that assumption. So don't turn that around. Like that's, I mean, I hate to say it this way, David. I'm not trying to like start a fight on a Sunday morning, but like that's a lazy comment to say, "Oh, the media makes us." Show me one. I want you to show me one story where a reputable. I'm not talking about bloggers. I'm not talking about internet media. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Give me one story where a reputable media outlet convicted Trey Holly in the media. That's what I want because I haven't seen that. I've seen social media. I've seen fans talk about it. Um, he's been convicted in the public. That's not the media, though. Ryan Emi, good morning. S. Pat, good morning. You think we get a glimpse of Cam Johnson today? If not today, then tomorrow. And let me check right now, real quick. I doubt that they've been. Let me see. I don't know if Jay's announced a starter yet. Forgive me if he has. I haven't seen it. Erica and I went to dinner last night. So let's see. Um, oh yeah, how about the catch by Paxton Kling in center yesterday as well? Incredible. I mean, that saved. Look, I mean, that saved your 1-0 lead at the point. At that point, going to his left, diving catch, pretty incredible. By Paxton Kling. I don't know if that made SportsCenter top 10, but it should have if it didn't. Yeah, I don't see an announced starter yet, so I guess we'll find out a bit later on who they plan on starting today. So, um, I would love to see Cam Johnson. If not today, tomorrow, I think we'll see Cade Anderson and Cam Johnson are the next two we're certain to see this weekend. Coach Nate Green, good morning. Hunter Picard, morning. Who do you think gets the bump today? On the bump today, gets the ball. Yeah, so I mean, my guess, and again, I'm guessing. I really don't know what he's going to do, but my guess would be Cade Anderson because going into the season, um, the plan, as I was told, was it was going to be um, Hurd, Holman, Jump, which is going to be the Sunday guy, and then Cade Anderson, the freshman from St. Paul's, was going to get the first crack at the midweek. Well, if they're using Jump out of the bullpen right now, then naturally Cade Anderson would just be the next one, unless if they want to keep Cade Anderson in that number 4 role and give Cam Johnson a crack today, which they certainly could do. But I think those are probably your next two. I think those are your next two. So Nate, good morning. Jeff McKithen, what's up? Ryan, could Fidel Ulloa be a serious weapon this season coming out of the pen? I mean, absolutely. I think the one thing that concerns me, he's only a two pitch guy. And so if you think about it this way, I mean, he's 96 on the fastball and he's 82 on the off speed pitch. So if you're a hitter guessing and you guess right, then he could be in trouble. But if you're sitting 82, thinking here comes the off speed stuff and he throws 96. Well, if you're sitting 82 and he throws 96, 96 looks like 99, 100. That's hard to catch up to. So, yes, I think Fidel Ulloa came into a really sticky spot yesterday and was awesome. So, yes, 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 yes. Uh, Dave said, a smart man said, I don't care how fast you throw a ball for. Lance Richard, morning, Matt. Would it be possible to get Drew to sing happy birthday to my son Austin for his ninth birthday? We can do that. Now, Drew's sleeping, Lance, so you're going to have to hang out for a little bit because I'm certain that at some point here during the show today, Drew and Erica will pop in here. But yes, when Drew gets in here, we'll have him sing. But happy birthday to Austin. I hope he has a great ninth birthday and gets all the toys that he wanted and all the great presents and has the best party in the history of the world. So happy birthday to Austin. Heath Fall, good morning. Bengal Tiger, impressive thing about Holman was command of the strike zone. Yeah, man, it wasn't anything necessarily like I don't think the arm talent blew you away, but it was his pitchability, man. It was the ability to keep hitters off balance by using all parts of the zone. I mean, he was up, he was down, he was in, he was out, he was fastball, he was change up. He was impressive, man. He was impressive. Benton Troxclair, there were a couple of balls LSU hit that get way out of there in different weather. Look, yes. I mean, it's one of the things we know about the box, right? Is early in the season the wind blows in. As the season changes and the weather changes, the wind blows out, and then the ball is a launch pad out of the box later in the season. So, um, yeah, so you expect lower scoring games. That's kind of what early in the season. That's kind of one of the things that made the 11-8 game on Friday really surprising. So, excuse me. Let's see. Ryan Amy said Milam gives me Blair Barbier vibes. That's big shoes to fill, obviously, but he seems special. And look, Blair started as a freshman. Blair started at second base as a freshman um, on the '97 national championship team. And then as career went along, he moved over to third base. Of course, Trey McClure was at third base when Trey graduated. Blair moved over to third. And Fontenot was playing second, obviously, on the 2000 team. But I think Barbier is even bigger than Milam. I think Milam's smaller than Barbier. He's he's a little ball of energy, but yeah, but I mean that kind of attitude, it's not a bad comp. And I'm curious where else he could play. I mean, he was a high school shortstop. Played him at second yesterday, but Terrio told me about that guy a few weeks ago, and I hadn't seen him. He's like Terrio can. He's got edge. And it showed. He made an impression. All right, Brian Broom, good morning. Brant Roban, man, a day yesterday. Didn't all the Tigers win? Also, Paxton showing some Dylan Cruz skills. Um, the thing about Paxton Kling is like he's the reason Kling was number one player in his state when he signed. He's even with not having played much last year, is still a top 100 prospect for this year's draft as a draft eligible sophomore. And the reason is, you know, he's a five tool guy. He's clearly got the glove, he can run. Um he he's got the arm, and then the hit tool is kind of what you're waiting on. He's got the power but can he hit for average? That's the thing right now. Like the bat has to come along for Paxton Kling. But even if it doesn't come along tremendously this year, that's not to say there's a team that wouldn't draft him. And I'm sure there will be. But That's the thing that for Kling has got to catch up. Struck out a couple of times yesterday. Again, batting ninth. He was over through 2 strikeouts. Like that's that's the thing that's holding him back right now. But again, when you are and Jay has said this, like Paxton Kling and Jared Jones, he's riding them in the lineup every day. Jones at first, Kling in center. He's riding them in the lineup every day. So, they're going to get their shots. Um, but it's one of those things for Kling that even if the bat doesn't necessarily come along, um, you know, even if the bat doesn't necessarily come along, you're still going to put him out there because he is a again an elite glove at a premium defensive position in center field. So it's almost like an Andrew Stevenson situation back in 2015, where you'll put him out there every day because he's a great defender, and whatever you get offensively feels like lanyap. But in a lineup that is going to be looking to find itself a little bit, you really hope that bat comes along. Um, Carl Milam is a dog. Reminds me of Jose Altuve, the way he squats the plate. That's probably a better comp, just on his size too. Is Altuve? I mean, Milam is a tiny dude, but he is compact and he is a ball of energy. And he's a dirt bag. The old adage. So I'd like him a lot, man. I think LSU fans are really going to like him a lot too. Von Bluesman, good morning. Cortland Jacob, what an upset yesterday. Great win for basketball. Much needed. Quentin Breakbill, good morning. Donald Amy, King Tut, basketball win was much needed. Yes, it was. For the reasons that we talked about. And again, this team right now is 13-12 overall. They're 5-7 in the league. Remember, they were picked 13th. LSU was picked 13th in the conference. South Carolina, incidentally, was picked dead last, and they're currently behind only Alabama and Tennessee. They're tied with Auburn right now. They're tied with Florida and Kentucky as well in the loss column. But um, um, 13-12 overall, 5-7 in the conference. It is plausible that they get to 9-9. I mean, I think even if they lose to Kentucky, they can win 4 of their last 5, get to 9-9 in league play, and that's going to put you in a position to be an NIT team. So I know I've said this several times before, but again, think of this year almost the same way that you looked at year 1 under Will Wade, just like punt last year altogether. Punt last year and look at this year as year 1 and you comp it to what Wade did in year 1. He got to the NIT. They beat ULL in that NIT game. And then year two they won the conference. So anyway, okay. Let's see. Jeff Jones, what's up? Cortland, Kling got no love from SportsCenter or SEC Network. That's a bummer. I thought that would have been a SportsCenter top 10 candidate for sure. David Hawes, Gamogan. Dave, been watching baseball since they made dirt. Kling catch was the best I've ever seen. No, 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 no. Come on, Dave. So first of all, Ray Wright's catch in Omaha in the College World Series against Stanford was a better catch. And uh, left field against A&M in why am I blanking? Why am I blanking? Come on, brain. Come on, brain. Jared Foster. Jared Foster's catch against Texas A&M in left field, which saved the game. I mean, it would have been a walk-off for A&M. Both of those are better than Kling's catch yesterday. Come on, Dave. Let's not overdo it here, bro. That was definitely not the best. I mean, that's the 2 I just mentioned right off were better than that play yesterday. But it was an amazing play. I mean, Cruz made a catch in the College World Series going into the wall. Uh, that was a better play than that one. It was an amazing play. Don't get it twisted, but not the best ever. Come on, man. Dave, you and I are butting heads this morning, man. Don't take it personal. Brant Roban, I feel like with JJ, we'll have quicker time figuring this team out than in the past, don't you? No, I don't know that I agree with that, Brant. I think because I don't think it's a coach. I think it's I think it's time and reps. Like you have to get these guys ABs, and then you have to figure out what pitchers are going to fit in what role. So that's just reps, man. You can go into a season with certain preconceived notions, but until you go play it out with a large enough, I mean, remember baseball is all about sample size, man. Like you got to have like you got to have enough ABs, enough innings in the field, enough of a sample size to make a determination. You know, so no, I don't believe that. No, I don't. I disagree with you on that. I don't think it has anything to do with Jay or who the coach was or anything. I think it's you you have ideas of what you think, but guys have to go do it in games. So, hey, Dad, good morning. Good to see you there. Happy Sunday. Neil Weaver, morning sconers. I like the new setup. Come a long way in 6 years. Keep up the good work. 6 years. It makes it sound so much worse when you say it's been 6 years. But yeah. Strong side. Morning on Uncle Scone. Baseball, softball, men's basketball, gymnastics, all one. Great day to be a Tiger. Matt Godwin, good morning. Jeff G. Pitching has looked really good, especially the new guys in the rotation and bullpen. Holman looks really good, but how much of that is competition created what Hurd faced with VMI? Um, I mean, I think first of all, I don't care what VMI's team batting average was a year ago or who they have back. Um, that's still not the level of competition you're going to face week in and week out in the SEC. So, what I'm looking for, like in early season games like this, is like more than anything, can you command the zone and your stuff? Like, what really concerns me is Griffin Herring walking three guys, right? Go throw strikes. That's what I want to see. So, I mean, people could be really like I don't think Luke Holman is going to average 10 strikeouts a game if that's what you're asking me. So, um I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's his game. It's that has never been his game. Um but in 5 and a third to walk just one hitter, that means you're pounding the zone and I'm very much good with that. Matt said thoughts on LSU's pitcher so far. I mean, Hurd was really good until he unraveled after the walk and the balk. Um, Everyone was really impressed with Gage jump. I mean, 96 from the left side was fun to see and how he closed it out. Holman was obviously great yesterday. Fidel Ulloa came in at a huge spot for Griffin Herring. We got to see DJ Primo pitch yesterday. Um, and they've used Dutton now back-to-back days. Dutton got the save yesterday and struck out 2 in the ninth. So that was good to see. I mean, maybe another role for a guy like that who came in as a freshman 2 years ago, we saw starting, as they were trying to figure out any arms they could count on. Remember, Dutton was starting. But with the amount of arms this team has, maybe that's a role that he factors into a back end of the bullpen guy. So Dutton went in there and he gave up a hit, which was if I remember correctly, like a little knock to right center. But struck out 2 and had a pretty uneventful ninth inning. So that's encouraging too. Ron Ritchie, good morning. Proud of the basketball team. Those cats never give up. Play hard for coach. That's true. Down 20 against Florida, rallied, had a chance to win. Down 16 yesterday, rallied, did win. Got to avoid the down double digits. Neil Weaver, how about Terrio's daughter getting the game-winning score in soccer last night? Send them to the championship. Aw, I did not know that happened. That is awesome. Was it Macy or Georgia? Um, Um, trying to find like an article on the game or something. I don't see anything on Twitter. Hmm. Somebody let me know, man, if they have. That's awesome. I don't know if it was Macy or Georgia who got the game winning score, but that's awesome. Go flying squirrels. I love it. That's so good. They're doing great, man. YouTube 341 watching combined across all platforms. I love that. YouTube, do me a favor, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Um, thanks to those watching on Twitter, X, as well. Please, retweet us there and on LinkedIn as well. So streaming on 4 platforms today. So we appreciate y'all for being there. Green Z, Matt, have you heard anything about Landon Victorian? He's an LSU baseball sign. He played for Barb. Apparently, there was an incident around December. He was up for explosion. It's probably expulsion. I don't know. I do not know Green Z. No, I do not. Sorry, I don't have anything there. Brian Leday, good morning. Cole Lecoq, Matt, need some Rex for food and drink spots at BR for an anniversary weekend. Okay, Cole. Let me know what y'all are looking to do, man. We could certainly help you out there. Of course, we love Rufino's. That's a great spot where they always treat you great. Um, Great place to go celebrate anything. Um, it kind of depends what you want to do, where you want to be, what part of town, right? If you're going to be downtown, like I don't know where you're staying. Um, you could stay down to look. I mean, I know I endorse the Watermark, but the Watermark is the best hotel in Baton Rouge. So you could stay downtown at the Watermark, have a cocktail in their lobby bar, which is just a awesome place. Street views and everything. If you want to eat at the Gregory at the Watermark, you can. You could walk to Struby's, which is great. Tsunami is rooftop sushi. Um, so there's tons of stuff downtown if you want to do that. So it really just depends like where you're going to be, what part of town you're going to be in, what you're looking to do. Dinner and then cocktails at Oliver Twist is always a great spot to go. Solu's a good restaurant right in front of Oliver Twist, so you could eat at Solu and walk to Oliver Twist for cocktails after. So a lot of different options. Buddy Chass on. Ooh, we got flipping the bird in the picture. I got to take you off there. It's Morning Scone, bro. We don't do. We're family friendly. Let's see. Morning Scone. Holman was great yesterday, as well as the rest of the team, pitching staff. Bear Jones showing he can be a special player. He's got to cut out the strikeouts. That's the problem. Um, the 2 strikeouts on Friday were a problem. That was his problem last year was the swing and miss. Jones yesterday was 1 for 4. The one was a solo homer, which was awesome. But the most important thing for Jones yesterday was he did not strike out. Like that is, I'm with you. I'm with you, buddy. Like he is going to be in the everyday lineup at first base, and he's going to be one of those dudes that they put in the lineup, and he might be 1 for 4 with a homer and 3 strikeouts. But that's baseball in 2024. If you're 1 for 4 with a homer and 3 strikeouts, but the one is the 3-run homer that changes the scoreboard, you take it, right? That guy's in your lineup for that reason. Um, I don't love that, but I understand that's also just part of the game. That's certainly part of the major league game today. Um, all right, George the Greek. Good morning. One day, can we get a YouTube short of your whiskey collection? Absolutely, happily. Edward O. Nuss bus driver. Looking forward to seeing Cam Johnson today. So, did they announce is Cam Johnson pitching today? My guess either Cam Johnson or Cade Anderson. I guess Javen Coleman could also get the ball. Uh, we'll see. But, I mean, I think it'll be Cam Johnson today or tomorrow, obviously. It's a four-game weekend, remember, they do play Monday. Um, so, is Cam, is Cade Anderson, is Javen Coleman? I mean, I think those are your candidates. But I can't see anywhere where Jay's announced a starter yet. So if someone has that and I don't, let me know. Tim Gotro, good morning. Let's see. James Avery, morning, Matt. Oh, I'm way behind on comments. My apologies. Dan Ducote, morning, Matt. Great day for the Tigers yesterday. Hats off to the men's basketball team for never giving up. Cortland, it did not make top 10. Lesser catches did lower level basketball. Talking about Paxton Kling's catching center. Eric Walderotter, I think our football schedule is easier than last year. Our three hardest games, USC, Bama, Ole Miss, significantly easier than last year. We might be favored every game. Thoughts? So, Eric, I talked about this on Friday. Hey, Karen McCord, good morning. Love the McCords. Hope y'all are having a great start to your Sunday. So, yes, Eric, talked about it on Friday because I went through. So there's two early lines for LSU football for 2024 posted. We got LSU as a 6-point favorite against USC, and LSU is a 2.5-point favorite at home against Bama. If that's the case, then the only two games where I can imagine, or the only game, excuse me, where I could imagine LSU being an underdog would be home against Ole Miss and possibly at A&M, depending on how things go. But yes, it's completely plausible that at the start of the season, LSU would be favored in every game. So it's one of those things where on paper, I think you look at LSU's football schedule, and it looks daunting. You've got USC, UCLA, Bama, Ole Miss coming off their schedule. Oklahoma rotates on, Florida, Texas A&M. And you go, golly, it's daunting, right? And it looks that way. But when you actually kind of delve in, I mean, USC also replacing their defensive coordinator, losing their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Neutral site, LSU 6-point favorite. UCLA, no Chip Kelly, 95th in the country in returning production. They're really going to struggle. Bama loses 33 players via the portal. Obviously, no Saban. LSU's a home favorite there. Oklahoma, their projected win total this year is 7.5. So LSU certainly be a home favorite there. I don't know if Billy Napier will make it to the LSU game in Gainesville this year. A new coach in College Station. You know what I mean? So it's like if LSU's defense improves and if Nussmeier is ready to roll, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, Chef 2254 mentioned the Lyle Collins story. See, that wasn't bad reporting, Chef 22504. That wasn't bad reporting. Like you're missing the point. Like he was wrongly accused, but that had nothing to do with reporting. Like the police had deemed him a person of interest. That is newsworthy. It was newsworthy. So that's not bad reporting. I think sometimes like and the general public has I'm digging my heels in here because I am part of the media and I'm not a news breaker, but I'm at least trained in that regard and I understand the process, but and I understand that when you especially those that follow political news, there's no doubt that you're getting whether you watch CNN or Fox, you're getting a biased lens. There's no doubt. I mean, and that's what happens when you have commentary blended into your news. But anyway, but don't get it twisted. Like there's a big difference between reporting something that is newsworthy and spinning a narrative. So like so this all stems if you're just joining from the Trey Holly thing. So if you missed a Trey Holly put a statement on social media last night denying any involvement whatsoever. He said he's wrongly accused. He had nothing to do with anything, and he's going to have his day in court. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier as we started and what I said yesterday, which is I reminded you of what happened with Clyde, where back before the 2019 season, Lyle Collins is another good example. He was interviewed as a person of interest in a murder before the draft in the 2015 draft. But that's not bad reporting. Who said that? Chef 22504. Like, that's not bad reporting. Like, the police had deemed Lyle Collins a person of interest. That is newsworthy. So that was reported. That's not bad reporting. Ultimately, the NFL decided they didn't want to take a chance given what was floating out there. Now, it's a horrible circumstance for Lyle Collins because he had nothing to do with it, as we all learned, and the timing was atrocious because it happened right around the draft. Um, but that doesn't mean it's bad reporting. It's reporting a newsworthy story that an All-American offensive lineman who was a projected first-round pick was a person of interest in a murder that police wanted to talk to. That is newsworthy. That's not bad reporting. That is reporting news. Rick Kelly, hey, Matt. Will Helmers was hurt most of last year. Is he healthy now? He started a lot of games as a freshman. I don't know where Helmers fits in. He is on the team. He is available. I don't know where he fits in here, though. Honestly, and this is one of those years where, and maybe he does emerge and have a great role in this team, but it's one of those things where the NCAA allowed a 40-man roster again this year for baseball. Still with with the players that have the extra COVID year, um, but you wonder like if the roster limits were the normal roster limits, is Helmer's a guy that probably would have gone somewhere else? Maybe I don't know. But it's hard to see what his role might be on this team. Anyway, remind you about Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Remember that hailstorm last week on Super Bowl Sunday that evening? Boy, we were busy this week. My goodness. If you have or think you might have hail damage, know someone who does. Prairieville, Denham got hammered. Oak Hills Place, Shenandoah got hammered. If you live there, know someone who does, friend, family member, coworker, let them know. We're never going to door knock ever. Not going to bother people. But when you're ready, we have insurance professionals on staff that all they do is help get your claim approved. So we'll come give you the inspection. We'll meet with your insurance adjuster. We'll help you file the claim. We'll get it approved. We'll replace your roof. All you pay is your deductible. Hudco Roofing, or give us a shout. The number's there on the screen, 364-1007. That brings our Baton Rouge office. It forwards to like 5 people's cell phones, so you're going to get a human. 364-1007, 364-1007 for Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all. Let's see, back to your comments. Thanks for being there with us. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to find my spot again. Man, I'm really far behind. Sorry. Chef said that mic sounds amazing. Thank you. Yeah, so this, I'll say it again. Like this is called an RE. Nope, it's case for it anyway. Sorry. So this mic is an RE20. It is a broadcaster's mic. So if you ever go into any radio station ever, this is the microphone. Like this is what we have in our radio station, our studios, every radio studio I've ever been in. This is what broadcasters use is an RE20. So yeah, I figured, you know what? I'm tired of giving money to Uncle Sam. I'll just spend it on stuff I want and write it off. So I built this home studio. Got a Rodecaster board. Got a high powered streaming gaming laptop. Got my RE20 mic with the arm, webcam, streaming software. Said, you know what? I'll just spend it on stuff that I want instead of giving it to the government. Daniel Kirkmaz, brother, appreciate your consistency getting up every morning and giving me my Tiger fix. You got it, dude. This is, and by the way, I mean, at this point, I can't imagine not doing Morning Scone. Today is episode 2,206 consecutively, man. Like having never missed a day. So shout out to the OGs that have been here from the beginning, and shout out to everybody who this is your first day, maybe ever finding us, or those who hang out every day. I mean, I only continue to do this because y'all continue watching every day. So like if I woke up one day and literally nobody was here, I wouldn't do the show anymore. But the audience keeps growing and y'all keep hanging out, and I feel like it's you know what I do really love, and I mean this if you give me a moment. Um I do really love when let me do this right now. I want to read something to y'all if y'all will sort of indulge me for a second. So last night Eric and I went to dinner. I came home and like I'm checking, all my social media stuff. And I got a message from a guy named Kyle Berthelot. I want if y'all will indulge me, I'll read this for you real quick, okay? And you wonder why I do Morning Scone. This is why I do Morning Scone. And this is why I do all my stream shows. And this is why I read your comments and answer them and talk. Like, this is why. Okay. Kyle Berthelot sent me this message last night, Saturday night. He said, "Hey, Matt, my family and I are huge fans of all the content you produce. My wife and I had our first this Thursday, a baby girl born after 38 hours of labor, then C-section. Belle Mary Berthelot, Belle, Belle Mary Berthelot." He says, "Unfortunately, we found out that our grandmother passed early Wednesday on or around the same time we went in for labor. She was a huge fan of yours, and even in her 90s, still watched the show daily and knew all the baseball info. A huge factor in her happiness this past year while moving into assisted living was watching the guys all year and eventually finish in Omaha. Before and after the games, additionally, watching you discuss the matchups, etc., Morning Scone or after hours. Thank you for what you do. It means something to a lot of people. A petite 90-year-old grandmother, her son, granddaughter, and me, the son-in-law, watching LSU baseball, discussing whether we should save Coleman for late innings or use him early to shut down your team's best lefty matchup is a dynamic you wouldn't usually find, but meant the world to us and her. Again, I thank you and wanted to let you know the love for the content. Maybe if you had a chance on Morning Scone or after the game, you could give a shout out. So condolences to the late Betty Bravo, LSU baseball diehard, huge supporter of the channel. And congratulations to the Bravo family for the newly born Belle Mary Berthelot, the great granddaughter of Betty, Kyle's first, who at 2 days old will be watching her second live broadcast at the box. Go Tigers. How about that? Like, you wonder why I do Morning Scone? That's why I do Morning Scone. How awesome is that? Like, that's the thing that, like, so many times and I appreciate Kyle so much for taking the time to send that. So many times, the only thing people see is the hate and the negativity, because that's sometimes the only thing people take the time to share. But I get messages like that, maybe not exactly like that, where on the same day his grandmother died and his daughter was born. But I get nice messages from people literally every single day. And that's that, or, last night Eric and I were at dinner. And there was a gentleman who came up to us and just shook my hand and said how much he loved the show and thanked me for the content. I mean, like, that's the kind of stuff that's so humbling in the most sincere way possible. So, all this because Daniel Kirkmass said, "Thank you for the consistency and getting up every morning." But of course, like, that's why. That's why I do it every day. Um, like it ain't because of the sponsorships. I mean, the little bit of money I make doing this isn't. It's. I'll put it to you this way: it's probably ROI negative from a financial, like, balance sheet standpoint. The amount of time I spend doing mornings and effort for what I make, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's it's more about that, right? Because I believe we all build good community together, and that's a fun thing to do. So, Arthur, I just went to the bottom. Um, Jason said, "Wonder how many people search how to make a scone and get you and stay for the entertainment." BL said, "Hey, when I miss morning scone." Thanks, Matt. Thank you, Brian Penn. Good morning. Appreciate y'all for being there. Um, all right. I kind of went to the bottom. I guess I could work my way back, but I feel bad for like the half an hour's worth of comments that I missed. So let me see if I can try to go through some of these a little bit quickly. Brambo, what's up? Let's see. Baseball's upon us. I like Saturday pitching staff. My boy Jones is getting off to a good start. Um, Couple of homers in a couple of games, yes. Love that he cut the strikeouts out yesterday. Reed Rule, happy Sunday, Scone. Uyo was great. Excited to see more of him. I agree. Jason Wilson, morning, Matt. Spent yesterday in Arlington for the Shriners. Okay. Watched Oklahoma take down Tennessee. Great watching them lose. Satisfied watching them lose to anyone how smug they've been recently. I love those early season tournaments, though. Go challenge yourself. Nate, you should video every interview you do like the other day and publish it. It was very interesting. What interview? Oh, you mean when I was a guest. Got it. Got it. So Friday morning I was a guest on WJOX with McElroy and Cole Kublik. So and I did the interview while I was on the stream. Um I, you'd be surprised how many of those I do. I do. It'd be hard to record them all. But when I have the opportunity, I will. Matt, what's the difference between zone blocking and blocking regular blocking? Could that be the reason Penning struggled because he was used to zone blocking in college? Um, so candidly, 25 years ago, yes, I was a high school offensive lineman. I'm not going to tell you that qualifies me to talk intelligently about anything, but we did not implement zone blocking. Zone blocking generally is exactly what it says. You have zone reads. So um, you kind of get on your horse on an angle and you continue like a fluid motion instead of point of attack blocking. Maybe a better way to say it is you kind of have to be a little more athletic. Uh, so maybe, but I think the bigger thing there is when Trevor Penning was at Northern Iowa, he wasn't facing NFL edge rushers, and that was his big problem. Like, there's a massive chasm, a gigantic difference in being on an island at left tackle against dudes at the FCS level and the NFL level. And not everybody can make that transition. Teron Armstead did. Teron Armstead played at Pine Bluff, and he was ready. Penning, not so much. So, zone blocking, you're talking more about run scheme, run blocking. Sure, put him in the interior of the offensive line at guard and let him get on his horse and go get that big body in other people's pads and move bodies out the way. I think he can do that if that's what they decide to do with him this year. Juan, good morning. Still fighting the Mardi Gras flu. Hate to hear that, man. Hunter Picard, Jared Foster engraved in my brain forever. Ray Wright and Jared Foster. Elliott Botts, still to be seen if Jones can hit a curveball against SEC pitchers. Last year, he'll feast on lesser competition. That's true. That's what happened. Lowell Cormier, Randall Offrecht, catch against A&M is the best catch I've ever seen at any level of baseball. So we're back. So for those who are just joining us, so earlier, Dave, I promise I'm not being combative with you today, man. I promise. But Dave and Durr said the Paxton Kling catch he saw yesterday is the best catch he's ever seen. I was like, come on, man, that's not even the best catch in LSU baseball. The Ray Wright catch in Omaha against Stanford in the national championship game when it went over the wall, and the Jared Foster catch against Texas A&M are the two best catches that anybody's ever seen. Nick Newman, good morning. Roderick Claiborne, good morning. Rick Newman, my man Matt, good morning to you. Drew, how much do you believe NIL has an impact on the 2025 class as opposed to straight out recruiting prowess? So Rick, I'm going to tell you, man, and I'm glad that Gordon came on my show a few weeks back and said some of these numbers on the record so I can share them with you now and I don't have to beat around the bush. So the 2023 LSU football team had a total NIL spend of about $4 million. $4 million. By comparison, Texas last year, the roster that made the college football playoff, they spent about $12 to $13 million on that roster. Gordon said LSU's goal for this year is to get from 4 to about 6 to 8 million. I can tell you, Jaden Daniels, when they convinced him to come back for another season, his NIL deal. Now, he wasn't Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels, at that point. But Jaden got low ones. Let's call it like 120. My point is, it ain't like LSU's out there slinging high 6 and 7-figure NIL deals. I'm not telling you that NIL plays no part. Clearly it does. But I think it's different for different athletes. For some kids, it's only going to be about NIL. Like, I'll tell you what happened with Terry Bussey. I mean, in this, I'm not a recruiting guy, but I do know all the players with LSU's collective and NIL, and I got to know what happened with Terry Bussey. I think they had a great shot to get Terry Bussey, but A&M had already lost 4 guys to LSU. Gabe Relaford flipped. Cohen Eccles flipped. Dominic McKinley flipped. And then LSU nabbed Jordan Gilbert, who was their starting safety before he got injured last year. And LSU was making a lot of headway with Terry Bussey. And A&M just collectively made the decision, like, this would be a terrible look. We ain't losing him. And so they dumped a pile of money on him that was like, you ain't saying no to this. Like, we're not taking no for an answer. So, okay. But the biggest thing, man, I'm telling you, and I know I say this all the time. I know, and I hate being repetitive with it. And I say it all the time, but it's true, which is why I keep saying it. The biggest advantage LSU has is the dirt. There are kids who grow up in the state. So, some of these kids now, they were in junior high, starting high school, when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, the 2019 Tigers, and they want to go play and put on that purple and gold and play in Tiger Stadium. And so it's like, if it's not like an egregious differential in the amount of money, they're gonna pick LSU. Now, can you keep them? We'll see. I mean, that's the thing. Look, Walker Howard, Lance Hurd. There's different circumstances that go into everybody's recruitment, but you know? Now, if you talk specifically about Bryce Underwood, I think clearly LSU and Joe Sloan deserves a ton of credit for Bryce Underwood. Um, for getting in the mix, setting the hook. And yeah, the NIL money had to be there, no doubt. But that wasn't just an NIL play. That was you did a magnificent job recruiting that kid and everything lined up. And you know what? That's a kid that had to be willing to leave home. And not every kid is, but he was, and the dominoes, all the stars aligned. So it's a really good question. But and for the it was Rick's question who said, you know, about how much is NIL impacting the 2025 class, this number one class, as opposed to recruiting prowess? The answer is it's a combination, but you have to have, you know, great talent in state, which you do. I mean, Trey Holly's the best running back in the country. He's right down the road. You know, DeCorian Moore is nearby, number one receiver in the country, right? You know, you're stockpiling the best players in Louisiana for that year. Then you look ahead to 2026, three of the top five players in the country are not only from Louisiana, two of them are in Baton Rouge. One's at Catholic, one's at U High. And then the number one player in the country is at St. Aug. I mean, you've got, like, if you don't get those three kids, that's three of the top five in the country. So, anyway. Murder Giraffe said DJ Primo is a 10 out of 10 name. Brennan Huff. Good morning, Brennan Huff. Jacques posted a video of Terrio's score on Facebook. Oh, cool. Oh, let me go see. Wait, I want to see it. I wish I could share this screen. I got to figure out if there's a way to share this screen. So for those that missed it, someone posted earlier that Terrio's daughter scored the game-winning goal in a playoff game for Dunham. Oh, here we go. Here's the highlights. Let's see. I wonder if I turn the volume on if y'all can hear me. Mhm. All right. Way to go, Macy Terrio. Stud. That's awesome. Could y'all hear that? I think y'all probably could, huh? I heard that in my headphones, so y'all should have been able to hear that. Y'all should have did tell me if y'all heard that, please. Tell me if you heard that. Let me tell me if you heard that. Let's see. Monty Tall said you could definitely set up the screen share. Like I know you can screen share. Oh, y'all didn't hear it. Oh man. Oh man. I heard it in my headphones. Why didn't y'all hear that? Err. It was input to the board. It should have been output to you. I don't know. I got to figure out all the settings. Gosh dog it. Oh well. Anyway, all right. Please smash the like button if you're there on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being here with us. Where are we? Mac 34. Who's starting on the mount? Haven't seen yet today. Macy PK. Let's see, Merritt with her and Matt. I know there was a lot of talk moving the bullpen. Do you have an update? Yes, I do. They shelved that project to next year. And I shared I shared the renderings. I don't know if I shared them on social media. I definitely shared them on AFR, but they're essentially moving the bullpens under the bleachers in the outfield, and there will be access to the field through the bullpen through the wall. So they'll make a gate in one of the wall panels that you could access the bullpen. So, and then they've got some really cool stuff they're doing on the bleacher seating down the line, you'll have a table in front of you. So like when you're sitting in your bleacher seat, you'll have a table in front of you to put your food or whatever on, and these like climate controlled cup holders, which are awesome. Like so to keep your drink cold when it's in there. Some cool stuff that they're planning. Arthur Coco said, "Do you plan to interview Beth Torina?" Love interviewing Beth Torina. She's one of my favorites. Would be happy to do that sometime, maybe this week. Sam Dutton should come in wearing a cowboy hat to the Yellowstone theme. Cody Walters, Matt, like you told Cortland yesterday, it's not you, it's me. You keep saying Bama Stadium wrong. You add a syllable, Dennehy. I don't really care. Let it burn. No, that's what I'm saying. I know the name of the stadium. Yeah, it's after the former president and the former coach, uh, Brian Dennehy Stadium. I know how to say it. Jordan Haddad, is MJ Seo on the team? I think so. He hadn't played this weekend. Huh. He's not on the roster. He's not on the roster. Huh. He's not on the roster. So, by the way, maybe I don't know if I should say this because if I do, it completely kills the bit. Like when Cody talked about the name of the Bama Stadium, I know I'm trolling Alabama people. It's stunning to me how many LSU fans don't get that. Every time I say Brian Dennehy, I'm trolling Alabama fans. I know the name is Bryant Denny. I'm well aware. You think I'm stupid? Obviously, I know the name of the stadium. I'm saying Brian Dennehy Stadium to troll Alabama people over and over again, and so many of you don't get it. You think do you honestly think I don't know the name of the Alabama stadium? Of course I know it's Bryant Denny Stadium, but I say Brian Dennehy like the actor to troll Alabama fans, and so many of you don't get it, and it blows my mind that so many of you don't get it. There, now I've spilled the beans. How do so many of you not get it? Yes, I do you think I don't know it's Bryant Denny? Of course I know it's Bryant Denny. It is a slight, a troll job, a smack at Alabama when I say the actor's name instead, Brian Dennehy. I know the name of the stadium, and I am intentionally trolling them. Principal Oshag Hennessy. Yes, like that. Why do so many of you not get why do so wait, wait, I'm looking at the roster right now. I thought he was out there. I do not see him on the roster. I mean, I'm looking at the roster right now at LSUsports.net, and MJ Seo is not on the roster, but I thought he was on the team. Mm, I mean, I like quadruple check there. Anyway, bro, thank you, Jimmy James, Big Tom Callahan. Has a stadium named after him? LOL. That's the point. Thank you. Oh my god, why? Why do so many LSU fans try to ruin the like? All right, I'm going to give you a I'm assuming most of you have seen Christmas Vacation. Okay. Do you know the scene where Clark tells the kid they're at dinner on Christmas Eve and he tells the kids, "Hey, weatherman saw spotted Santa's sleigh on the radar, stumbled over New York or whatever." And Eddie goes, "You serious, Clark?" And Clark looks at Eddie like, "That's how I feel. That's how I feel like Clark every time an LSU fan tells me, it's Bryant Denny, you're saying it wrong." I'm like, "Yes, of course. Shut up. You're ruining the bit." Shut up. Like Jake Matern, I call the swamp Benny Hill Griffin Stadium. Like, look, Benny Hill, like Josh Ennis and I used to play the Benny Hill theme when we would do what would Josh do when he played Benny Hill? I forgot what we would do. There was a bit we would do when we played the Benny Hill theme. It was like, why am I forgetting now? Because it's been a long time. But we play the Benny Hill theme, and it was like a oh, oh, I remember now. Josh did a bit. So when Josh and I did the fastest hour, this was 2007, 8. Um, Josh did a bit called Back When LSU Basketball Was Relevant. And that was look, they went to the Final Four, and then obviously after that, in 7 and 8, really struggled, and then, of course, John Brady got fired. Well, they were losing so much, Josh would play the Benny Hill theme and just point out all the awful stats and all this stuff. It was just a troll. It was pretty funny, though. Anyway. Okay, Brad Odom said he's been on all the videos in LSU Gold, but not participating, so he's definitely on the team. Okay, so MJ Sayo is on the team, not participating. Anyway. All right. Smash that like button if you would. As always, brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, with locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. If you find yourself in need of an orthopedist, trust the best. Trust the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Remember, the after-hours clinic open nights and weekends as an alternative to the ER. brortho.com. And Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and hudcoroofing.com. And we're back. Let me get back to my spot where it was. Danny Braywick, Cody, he does it on purpose, like he says, Arkansas. How some people don't get it, I don't know. Calium Alexander, good morning, Matt. Freshly back from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. You'll have to take your Rock and Drew, then visit Rhythm of the Night Show. Okay. Mark Lenklos, morning Scone. You need a pair of new gold Trump high tops to put on your shelf. LOL. Gold Trump high tops? I don't get it. Devin Kelly, good morning. Sorry I'm late. Didn't get notification. What up, fam? Where's my 104.5 ESPN hat? You got remind me. I'll get you one. You got to remind me. Not here. Like text me or something during the week. Remind me. But I got you. Eric Wilderrotter, listened to your segment on Super Bowl ratings. Got me thinking, could you do a little inside baseball and how you know how many people listen to you over the radio? Sure. So there are, I don't know if anybody actually cares about this, Eric, but I don't mind explaining. So there's a company called Nielsen. Used to be Arbitron that did it. But Nielsen measures radio rankings. And there are two different ways. There are metered markets and there are diary markets. So larger markets are meter markets, smaller markets are diary. And I think eventually technology will evolve to where this becomes much easier in the way that digital listening habits are digital consumption is concrete. And so it is a professional survey that is done where diaries, so like in Baton Rouge, for example, in our market, diaries are sent out to listeners, to people in the market, and they're asked if they would be willing to fill out a diary of what they listen to. Sounds real exact and scientific, right? But it is a scientific research study, and apparently they know how to do these things to extrapolate numbers. And then people would fill out the diary and then send it back, and you get like $5 to do it. I remember my family did it when we were younger. I was maybe 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that, and we got diaries. But it's the people that are chosen to participate are done. It's done so at random in a scientific research manner, whatever. Look, I took media statistics in college where they explained to us how all these surveys and everything works, like how you take a small sample and extrapolate it over a large amount of people. And I still don't understand it, how it works, but that's how. Then in larger markets, they have meters where if you agree, you put a physical device, a meter on your radio, and it measures what you listen to. And so that then they extrapolate the data that way. So it is, I think, look, everybody plays by the same rules. But I think it's so inexact and hard to determine. Um, Clearly, I can go look at all of our YouTube streaming, podcast, all of that stuff, and get a very exact number of. I mean, like I'll tell you right if like, give me 1 second, I'll tell you exactly how many people watched the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel last year. Hang on, I'll tell you the exact number. I don't care. Oh, I can't on this device. Oh wait, hang on, I'll do it here. Um, YouTube Studio. I don't have it on this device. Um, Hey, what? You been cuddling with mommy in the bed? Why didn't you want to come see Dad's show? Who is it? Is it Winston? I want to take a picture of Winston with Flat Stanley. I know. Would you go get Flat Stanley? It's on the seat of my car. Where's Winston? Winston's our neighbor's cat, and Olivia loves Winston. Oh. I'm gonna have to go next door and just ask him. Hey, Drew, come see. Drew, you want to come say hi to Dad's show? Hey, you want to come say hi to Dad's show? Here, oh, there we go. Come on again. Okay. Drew's here. Say, come on again. Say, come on again.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did you sleep so good?
Yes.
It's 10:30. You slept so good. Hey, what did you do last night? Who'd you see last night? Who do you see right there? Drew. And Daddy. Hey, you know what? There's a little boy watching today. His name is Austin, and it's his birthday. Can we sing happy birthday to Austin? Are you in the mood to sing happy birthday to Austin?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Happy
Birthday
to.
yes.
I know. Happy
Birthday to Austin.
Austin.
Birthday.
What more does he do?
Of
Then we get down. Okay. Are we doing Ask E-Rock? Okay. Time for Ask E-Rock. Let's go. All right. Well, Drew gave us a half-hearted attempt at happy birthday to Austin. Austin, hope you have a great 9th birthday. Sorry, Drew's rendition of happy birthday wasn't awesome. Real quick, though, let's see. There we go. Let's see. In 2023, So for the entire year 2023, can y'all hear me? Am I back on? Y'all can hear me, yeah? Okay, yeah. So 2023, we had 2.023 million views on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Our top show was the Whiskey and Wine post game show from Ole Miss. Wow, why was that one so big? I know LSU lost, but still, that's wild. That was the highest viewed show. Was the Ole Miss post game. Now I'm curious. Anyway, so radio ratings, scientific surveys, but I feel and most people feel are still inexact. And by the way, we do well, like we do really well, but I still don't know. Let's see. Talking about schedules, Cortland said you trade State for Oklahoma. That's not easier. Sure, but you also Auburn rotates off, South Carolina rotates on. It- again, nominally, I think it's harder, but Oklahoma's projected win total this year 7.5. Man, so again, I think on paper you look at the names that you have to play, and it looks tough. When you start to dig in, it probably isn't really. Jimmy Bourgeois, USC's quarterback, looked good the bowl game. Kid can sling it. I have no doubt. Lincoln Riley's going to have good quarterbacks there. Nick Hessler, Matt, don't know if already discussed. Do you think LSU men's basketball has a chance at the NCAA tournament? No. I think they can make the NIT. David Bass win over South Carolina was brutal. LSU outbattled them. Finally had a few things go their way at the end of the game. Looked like a tournament game. But that's true. And Danny's right. And Vandy rotates on as well. So Vandy, Oklahoma, South Carolina are all on LSU schedule this year. Gunnar Michaels, morning Scone. Wouldn't hate to see Brown and Milam both in the lineup today. Also, small sample, but Fidel Ulloa looked incredible. Very excited to see what he becomes. We talked about Ulloa earlier. He came in a tough spot, too, for those that missed it. Griffin Herring had walked a couple of guys, so Ulloa came on with 2 on and 1 out, and got back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. Looked really good. Fastball at 96, breaking ball at 82. Just a 2-pitch mix that we saw yesterday, but looked really good. Let's see. Rick Kelly said yesterday we saw again a big number of LSU batters getting hit like last year. This is a big part of the offensive base percentage. It is, Rick. And one of the things that Jay Johnson teaches, this is why I think his teams are always going to have a lot of batters hit by pitch. Jay teaches his guys, don't move your feet. So you see a lot of times when a pitch is coming inside, you do like the butt out thing, right? To let the pitch go inside, or guys will spin and bail out. Jay says, don't move your feet. Don't move your feet. Just turn, wear it on the butt or the back, but don't move your feet. If it's coming in the batter's box, take it and take your base. So they teach that. So especially guys that crowd the plate. I mean, if all you do is just turn and wear it, you're taught to turn and wear it. You're going to wear a lot of pitches, especially at this level. Finish strong. Morning, Matt. Not sure if you saw the Kobe purple and gold Air Force Ones dropping later this year. Looked like a great game day shoe. I did not, but I'm down for it. Taylor Hudson, morning, Matt. Just tuning in. How about all them Tigers? Look good on the diamond and the hardwood. Been a great weekend, man. Ryan Stadler, morning, Matt. Late to the Scone party. How far do you think, if possible, we're having a nasty defensive line like the 03, all from Louisiana? Ooh. I mean, there ain't nobody on the team right now that looks like that. I mean, you don't have a Spears, a Lavallee, a Marquise Hill. You don't have anybody like that right now. But, man, that's one of the most under talked about things because you had a run of a decade when everybody talked about DBU, Mike Detillier always made the point LSU was really D-line you because you want a decade of having a defensive lineman drafted every year. And you had All-Americans like Kyle Williams after Lavallee and Spears and Hill, Kyle Williams, Claude Roten, um, Drake Nevis, and there was a Dorsey, obviously. You had a long history of elite Brockers, became a first-round draft pick. Benny Logan was an All-American, but Benny Logan in 2012 was the last one. You've gone a decade since you had an All-American interior defensive lineman. Um, so, hey, what up, Kevin? Normally watch on YouTube, popped up on LinkedIn. FYI, new format is great. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing awesome. Yeah, man. So, with the streaming software, it allows me to send this stream to, I mean, like as many platforms as possible. So we've got it at Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter X right now. Austin Kidder Morning Scone is a home away from home every morning for those of us who left Louisiana but still love the Tigers. Appreciate you for being here too, man. Jesse Post, good morning. Terrio called the W. Cortland, State Ole Miss Vandy, and UF all lost this weekend. Jimmy James, best LSU baseball catches, Leon Landry has entered the chat. That's true. Let's see, Cortland, does that count national deals like Powerade? No. If you're talking about Jaden, no. I'm just talking about what he got from the collective. We talked about it a bit ago. That doesn't count his what he got. I think he had a deal with Beats and Powerade. No, I'm just talking about what he got from the NIL collective. Cortland, did they throw the money away they have to spend on the four? Did they throw all the money they would have spent on the four they lost as Bussy? Oh, you're talking about A&M. So the players that LSU got from A&M, saying did A&M take that money and give it to Bussy? I don't probably some of that, I would think, especially Dominic McKinley. Barry Day, good morning. Jimmy James asked for an update on Greg Brooks. I'll ask. I have asked, and I've gotten a lot of. I haven't gotten anything concrete. I'll try something different. I'll try to go a different angle. Taylor Hudson yesterday ending MS Morning Scone. You said you can still enjoy your bourbon forever when open. I've heard that if it's open, you have 1 to 2 years to finish more than half full. Tell me my sources are wrong. LOL. I don't know if your sources are wrong, but I have stuff that's been open for more than a year or two, and it's still fine. Tim Forshaw. I mean, it's the key is Taylor. You just have to keep it sealed. If you keep it sealed properly, then it's good. Like, is there a possibility that it will aerate and uh, if it's not sealed properly, you get air in there and it just proofs down and it's not as yes, absolutely. But if you keep it sealed properly, it will stay good. He meant Harlem. Did I say Eric Berry? I might have said Eric Berry instead of Harlem Berry. Sorry. Merrick said, "Who's cutting onions this morning?" For those who missed it, I know we're a little behind now, but I read a comment from a Morning Scone listener. That was very touching, and why one of the reasons why I'm always thrilled to keep doing the show every day. And now I'm down into all the Brian Dennehy stuff. Well, Gary said that's like the Auburn Stadium drives me nuts when I hear it in Mobile. Well, it is Jordan. The man's name was Suge Jordan. It's not Jordan Hare. It's Jordan Hare. Like the coach at Auburn went by Suge Jordan. So it is when you hear people say Jordan Hare, that's how it's pronounced. Let's see. Um, Morning Scone brought to you by Callahan Auto Parts. Barry Jocelyn, morning Scone. What up, Uncle Matt? Uncle Scone. Yep. I just got home from church. Glad catch it live on a Sunday. Very good. Ooh, it's 10:45. I'm going to church at 11:30, so I got to get going. I was hoping Erica would come in here for Ask E-Rock, but Murder Giraffe. I listen to your show. Can I have $5? No. I'm trying to go quickly here. Jimmy Bourgeois, good morning. Marty Tall. Jay said MJ is definitely redshirting along with Trenton Lape and Dylan Thompson. Barry. There's Drew comments. There's all the good morning Drews. Cliff Nelson watching on Twitter this morning. Twitter X. Appreciate you, bruh. Joseph Fallsgraf. Morning, Matt. Did you see Field Yates put his mock 1.0 for ESPN? Jade number 2. I did see that. Had Brian Thomas mid-late 20s. Why? Well, remember, it's first of all, it's very deep receiver draft with Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Rome Dunze, Florida State, number 4, Keon Coleman. It's a deep receiver draft, number 1. And so at what point, so it has to be teams looking to draft a receiver at points in the first round. So I said last week, man, Brian Thomas, I think has, the most to gain at the combine. He could, if he goes and performs really well, or maybe even the most to lose as well. Because if he doesn't perform well, I think he could fall out of round 1. If he performs well at his size and measurables, if he goes and runs well and performs well, he could solidify himself as a round 1 guy. But I think the combine all is really big for Brian Thomas. Let's see, Cortland, Manny, good morning. All right, we might be done. All right. As always, y'all, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you need orthopedists, they're the best. Remember, after hours clinic is open nights and weekends. So if you need an orthopedist today, you can bypass the ER, go see our friends over at Brock. And of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. If you had roof damage or think you might, give us a shout, 364-1007, 364-1007. You can always go online. Highly recommend, though, you want to talk to a living, breathing human, as a lot of people are want to do. Give us a shout, 364-1007 for Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, y'all, we're going to have to bypass Ask E-Rock. They were just too late to the party today, unfortunately. And I got to go. So I got to go... Gotta go shower. We're gonna get to church. So y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.